No young girl ever dreams about growing up and being a prostitute. An FBI agent with the Human Trafficking Task Force said that to me after I was arrested. I never thought about it before, but she was right. I'd grown up in a loving family with 2 parents, and I dreamt of being a singer or teaching vocal performance. I wanted to go to college and get a degree. The possibilities were endless. I remember that. In my early teens, I experienced a sexual assault, which changed the way I viewed myself in the world. I was jaded and angry. The connection between me and my happy future was dimmed. It was completely dimmed. I barely made it through high school. I flunked out of college. I used substances to numb the pain. I had no clue what a healthy relationship was, but I was so desperate for a connection, I put myself in some unhealthy relationships and unhealthy situations. I married a man and soon after began to fear him. My brother died, my husband got arrested, and I was homeless. That's when I met this couple. They looked like they had it all. She looked happy, and he looked like he loved her, like he really cared about her. I needed help in my situation, and I decided to travel with them. That's when I found out that she was a prostitute, and he was her pimp. After crossing state lines, they asked me for money that I didn't have. Since I couldn't pay, they dressed me up. They taught me all the right words, and then they posted me on Craigslist. That's when I learned everything about the sex industry, including that my safety, my livelihood, and shelter, it all depended on my participation and my profit. I conformed to that life. I couldn't separate myself from who I was and what I was doing. I was spiritually and emotionally depleted. I wasn't able to feel filled in life like other people could. Selling myself, seeing that transaction of money for service, it was the only thing that could fill my love cup up, even if it was just for a short period of time. And so I kept exploiting myself. I kept looking for something to make me feel whole. A decade, 6 kids, and an arrest later, I was faced with a decision to make: to continue living life as it was, or to seek shelter and freedom in a restoration home. Getting help became a requirement of my probation, but the words that the FBI agent said to me that day planted a powerful seed. They made me want to get help. They made me want to change my life. It's difficult to change when you don't know anything different, when you haven't seen anything different. But that's what Garden Gate Ranch was for me. Every day I got to see a different way to live. It was shown by the staff around me. They weren't seeking approval or the acceptance of other people. They turned to God, and He filled up their love cup. After seeing it, I realized that's exactly what I wanted. In my past, I only lived for other people. My love cup was filled every time I made someone else happy, or I did what they wanted. But it didn't last. At Garden Gate Ranch, God was the one who filled me up. I'm thriving now. I'm no longer just surviving. I have a great job, and I am going back to school. I will have a bachelor's degree, just like I dreamed when I was young. I am getting married soon. In the near future, I will own my first home. Yes! It feels amazing. I have a beautiful little boy that I get to wake up to every day, and I don't fear that I'm going to lose him or anything else that I have. There was a time in my life where I needed everybody to pour into me, but now I'm in a place where I'm able to pour into other people. I'm able to be a present mother. I'll be a loving wife. The healing that I found in Christ and at Garden Gate Ranch has changed everything.
Garden Gate Ranch is a faith-based Christian organization providing safe housing and restorative and transitional services for sexually exploited women and their young children. A day in the life of a resident at the ranch house might include such things as devotions or chores, healing curriculum, and life skills training. When a woman moves into the ranch house, we start by focusing on stabilization. What's safety, and how can she identify and implement it into her environment and into her relationships? What's sobriety, and how can she maintain it? And finally, what is trauma? How can she recognize trauma in her past? How can she release it? And how can she protect herself from it in the future? Once this base is established, we focus on growth. We help her explore self-care and healthy habits. We dig into spiritual needs, wounds, and healing. We examine relationships and boundaries and give her opportunities to practice building healthy connections. We don't move into the growth stage until stabilization is complete, and we don't rush any woman through her healing. As we individualize this process, we underscore that she is uniquely created by God and that she's important as an individual. She isn't a statistic or a commodity. She's a person, she's a woman, she's a mother, created on purpose for a purpose. We want her to see herself for who God made her to be, and so we refuse to press her into a cookie-cutter mold. We meet her where she's at and guide her into the future that God has waiting specifically for her.
At Garden Gate Ranch, I went from barely surviving life day to day to looking confidently towards a promising future. Every woman deserves that chance.
There is hope for every survivor of sexual exploitation. Will you help us help her? Please visit our website to give, connect, and stay informed.